I thought you were going to say something else on top of that. That was quite brief, Mark. Open it up.
Open it up.
Like you to keep it quick, mate. No. Yeah, well, we've got Mandy on, haven't we, to discuss the issue that everyone's been talking about the last week or so.
That's right.
And it's the, oh, God, I hate it, Mini Pride.
That's the one.
For 3 to 7 year olds. I really wish we weren't having this discussion. But yeah,
and it took place where?
It caused a bit of a storm in Chester, the Storyhouse. So Mandy and a few people went down to do a bit of a protest. We've got her on now to have a little update. So we're looking forward to hearing what happened, really. So over to Mandy, I guess.
Go ahead, Mandy.
Yeah, I wish that we weren't talking about this again as well.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we could move on. But unfortunately, I heard on the grapevine that Storyhouse were planning to hold as part of their queer festival or whatever, it was Storyhouse Queer that it was called, this mini pride for kids, which was aimed at 3 to 7 year old children. And they were commissioning an organisation called Curious Arts. And as part of that, there was going to be stories read to children, presumably promoting LGBTQ.
LMNOP.
LMNOP. And it was actually, as it turned out, one of Curious Arts people that they provide. This one was a dinner lady, or masquerading as a dinner lady, called Pam the Dinner Lady. It was actually a middle-aged bloke dressed as a dinner lady. Okay. So as we all know, dinner ladies are sort of trusted female figures in children's lives. So when you get some bloke dressing up as a trusted female figure, confusing the hell out of kids and doing that to impart ideology.
Yeah, I get it.
Which is an ideology that we know has led children down a path of sterilization and mutilation and harm and God knows what level of confusion about who they are.
And drugs, harmful drugs to
it destroys the family as well in a lot of circumstances. It's not just like these little lists. It just reverberates, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the damage to society. Sorry, go on.
Well, what was really good about it, I mean, obviously there's a lot of bad things about that. And we did have some, some horrible people coming up and giving us grief. And the manager of the Storyhouse came out and gave us grief, but the police were great. And because we'd already informed them beforehand, which we don't.
Sorry, excuse me. What did you say? Did you say the police were great?
Well, as in, they strolled past, smiled, and said hi. Well, that's good. Go.
That's refreshing, isn't it? Yeah.
Or as Trevor's police would go, hi, hello.
There's a different story when you got someone like Sadiq Khan in charge of them. Or Andy Burnham, but.
Yeah, so but also we had about 20 people there. This was like really late notice by the time that I realized this event was happening.
That's good.
The flu the week before, I didn't really feel up for doing anything, but I just thought I can't let it go. They need to know if they're doing stuff like that, if they're indoctrinating 3 to 7 year old kids, we will show up and we will embarrass them. But we had
that's called grooming, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing no one wants to say, isn't it? But that's exactly what that is. And we're saying it. We're saying it. Because it needs saying clearly, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I just find it strange. The whole thing to something that's aimed at 3 to 7 year olds. I mean, I thought like dance parties and, scouts and trips to, amusement parks and things like that. I thought that's the kind of thing that you do with 3 to 7 year olds, Well,
this organisation, Storyhouse and Curious Arts, partnered with Chester Pride, which is another local charity. So obviously Storyhouse is a registered charity and it's in receipt of quite a lot of public funding, and so is Chester Pride. Yeah. And we know that Pride is about promoting adult sexuality and gender ideology increasingly, and also increasingly it promotes kink and normalizes kink and fetish and things like that, which if it was just kept to an adult environment would be nobody's business and no one would care too much about that. But for 3 to 7 year olds, to partner with Pride to put something on for 3 to 7 year olds, there's something not right about that. And also if you have someone, because one of the parents said, oh well, they had a child with them and they were on the way in and they said, yeah, well, he could be dressed as a monster, a dragon tomorrow. Or you could identify as a cat and I wouldn't care. What harm does it do anybody?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but if you're confusing children about who is what sex, what sex someone is that's trusted, that's reading to them, if you're confusing them about that, it means that they can't then in future have safe, secure boundaries where they can make safe decisions to keep themselves safe. That's what grooming is. It's about undermining that child's ability to make judgments to keep themselves safe around adult people. And we know that the vast majority of child abusers are men, not women, and certainly not dinner ladies, so kids have to be able to know who's who and have to understand, because your mum will say to a child, if you get lost anywhere, look for another mum with some children. That's a safe person to go to. So little kids really shouldn't be getting these conflicting and confusing messages from adults. And it's kind of worrying and sinister when that starts to be normalized, I think, alongside sort of adult sexuality and gender ideology, which is what Pride is all about, and what LGBTQ plus is now all about as well. So,
and also they use very bright colors and costumes and different things of that nature to visually attract the children, because that's what children are attracted to. That's why Disneyland is mostly, made up of colors. When you go to the different characters, and that's what they do to attract the children. I mean, doesn't attract me. The cost of it doesn't attract me anywhere at all.
There's a little bit more to it as well. It's the simplicity of the message they're pushing across, when really it's a lot more complex than that. And like you say, colours, they also use animals a lot. Just to relate to the children. They're kind of tricking them into all this. It's indoctrination. I'll say it like it's, Dave the Milkman. I mean, sorry, Pam the Dinnerlady shouldn't